5 reasons why most real estate agents fail. So if you haven't been to my channel before, I'm all about real estate education, life as a real estate agent, and real estate agent success. Thanks for dropping by. If you like the content, please drop a comment. Before I dive into the 5 reasons why I see real estate agents fail, I'm going to share a little bit about my backstory. My name's Darren Tsai. I'm a licensed real estate agent and loan officer here in Orange County, California. The reason why I started this channel and I wanted to make this type of content is because when I started out, I didn't feel like I had a lot of support. And I feel like if I just knew what I knew now, I would have been so much more successful. Not to say that I'm, this ultra mega agent, but I think I've done pretty well. And I'd like to see you succeed in your real estate career. And so I'm currently going into my 5th year. I've had some very successful years. Well, in my definition of success is making a good living, right? Over 6 figures, while still having time for my family and my hobbies. So maybe you're someone that has just got their real estate license. Maybe you're someone that's thinking about getting their real estate license, or maybe you already have your license and you just want to figure out what you need to do to succeed. So I'm not going to give you exactly what you need to do, but I'm going to share what not to do, or what I've seen agents do that failed and are no longer in the industry. The 5 reasons why most real estate agents fail. Number 1, they put excuses over the 3 A's. And those 3 A's, the triple A is what I like to call it, is action, accountability, and accomplishment. The second reason is time management. The third reason is mindset. The 4th agent is role models or no role models. And the last, number 5, is budget or financial reasons. So I'm going to dive into each of those with a little bit more depth. Number 1, excuses over AAA. So a lot of agents that I've met throughout my 5-year career so far will go on and they'll blame other people. They will go ahead and complain about their own clients. They'll complain about their situation. They'll complain about what happened to them instead of just taking action, right? This is a very much so results-based industry. You need to have these super strong relationships, but you also need to be able to get results. A lot of agents think that the world revolves around them. And in reality, the world does not revolve around them. High level, we're just looking at this. Sellers of properties want buyers of properties. Buyers of properties want to own a property. The agent is the person in between, the 2 agents, or maybe 1 agent, depending if that state allows dual agency, is the person in between that helps represent each party. And a lot of agents make things about themselves instead of really doing what's right for their clients. At the end of the day, if you do become an agent or you are an agent, don't forget, sellers want buyers, buyers want properties. They are not really thinking about the agent's feelings, what the agent's going through. At the end of the day, this is a results-based business. So don't let any type of excuse get in front of actions, accountability, and accomplishment, right? And I think that's I like to use those 3 words, action, right? The agents that I've seen succeed, the top agents, they are constantly taking action. What do I mean by that? They're either door knocking, they're either calling, they're either mailing, they're either door knocking, they're holding open houses, right? They're creating social media content. They're always in action. They're always doing something that helps move their business forward, helps their clients. So I'm going to share a story about how one of my friends, who lives in a city far away, he hired a commercial broker to list his home for sale. He said, well, me and this broker have been friends for 20 years. He claims that he knows how to sell homes, and he's calling me because he doesn't feel like he's getting the best representation to sell his home. And he's not getting any offers. He's not seeing a lot of people come through the home. He's not really getting any feedback. And so a good listing agent or a good broker that's selling a home will have a clear-cut process on how they're going to drive traffic and get offers on the seller's home. This broker didn't explain anything to my friend, the seller. And in terms of actions taken, right? I mean, he did hold an open house, but he put 2 signs up. There were no signs around the neighborhood. There was no pre-marketing. There was no knocking on the neighbors' doors. There was no action to generate traffic to the open house. Additionally, after the open house, there was no feedback to the seller. There was no action taken to let the seller know this is the traffic that came through this weekend. And so the seller is really upset. Then the next part, accountability. This broker didn't take accountability for his actions, him and his team's actions. He said, well, the house will sell itself, the open house, people will come by. And the seller was really upset because he didn't feel like this broker took enough action. And then instead of taking accountability and saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I did not do enough to get traffic to this open house. This is what I'll do instead. You know what? We're gonna call every single neighbor. We're gonna door knock every single neighbor, and we're gonna invite them personally to your open house. We're gonna email every single agent in the area that recently sold a home and see if they have any buyers for this property. Instead of offering more action to do their job the right way, they told the seller, lower your price. And so that actually really made the seller feel upset. So the seller canceled the contract with them. And so in this specific example, why am I bringing this up? Because if you are an agent who thinks that you can just go out, put a sign up and sell homes for, tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars, this is not the right business for you. Take the action, hold yourself accountable, and you will see accomplishment. So no excuses, AAA. Get after it, do the right thing, work hard. Number 2, this is a big one. Number 2, I struggle with this one personally quite a bit sometimes. Time management, right? Scheduling and sticking to the right time management kind of system, making sure you dedicate enough time each day to prospecting, follow up, going on appointments, and really staying focused in the time that you have allocated to your prospecting. This is a really big issue that I've seen when agents go into the office and instead of calling their clients, instead of working on new marketing, instead of getting in front of people, instead of following up, they're just chit-chatting. Like they're just in the office hanging out, just talking about whatever, instead of utilizing their time for the money-making activities. So please, 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 I beg you, make sure you dedicate every day in your schedule time to get in front of clients. And then on top of that, if you're a newer agent, take time to learn skills. What do I mean by that? You need to know your local market. You need to know the average sales price. You need to know the days on market. You need to know how many offers properties are getting. You need to know how competitive it is out there. And you need to spend time understanding your local contracts, right? That's the lifeline of this business, is understanding the contracts, understanding the market. Otherwise, what value are you providing your clients? So with that, right, weekly, daily, you make sure you set aside some time in your schedule for skill development, market knowledge, and then make sure you're prospecting and following up. If anything that I've said resonates with you and you want to have a successful career in real estate, subscribe to the channel. So now I'm going to move on to number 3, mindset. Now this is kind of like a broad term, right? Mindset. What does that mean, Darren? Well, when I talk about mindset, I'm talking about you feeling confident and you feeling that you are the right choice for your client to help them with their real estate needs. So if you don't believe in yourself to be the best option, then how can someone else believe that you're going to be the best option? That is a very hard thing to overcome as a brand new agent. I totally get it. I know there's a lot of fears also, right? You don't want to mess up someone's largest financial purchase of their life. And rightfully so. I respect that. But this is why it's so important, going back to the last one, right? Time management. you build in some time in there so you have the skills. You know what's going on. And this actually leads perfectly into reason number 4, role models. If you don't have the right role models around you in this real estate game, you're going to be making a lot more mistakes to learn important lessons, when in reality, if you're around the right people, they've already made those mistakes and they're happy to show you and share their knowledge so that you don't have to make the same mistakes they did. So number 4, right? When I say role models, right, you want to have agents that you can model your business after. You look at how they speak to people. You look at how they operate their business. You look at how they act ethically. And you could see, like, do they really take care of their people? Are they really making as much money are they really making as much as it looks like they're making, or are they faking it? And if you're around a bunch of other new agents that don't make any money, haven't closed any deals, you're not going to be able to learn. You're not going to be able to learn fast enough, right? Because those people are just going to be making the same mistakes you are. So number 4, find great real estate role models and stay away from bad real estate role models. Quite simple. And number 5, this one I think is probably the main reason why a lot of people get out of real estate, is they don't budget correctly, or for other financial reasons, right? If they aren't taking the action, they're not making enough money to survive, they're not closing enough real estate transactions to really live a great life, then, maybe they have to get a part-time job. Maybe they have to get a full-time job. Maybe they have to get out of the industry. But also, what a lot of real estate agents don't take into consideration when they get their commission check is they got to pay taxes. They're running their own business and they don't audit, or they don't budget their finances enough, right? They got to take a monthly, probably even weekly view of what commission checks are coming in, how much of that is going to the brokerage, how much is going to insurance, how much is going to my marketing, what are my monthly fees, and what are my expenses, right? So I see this all the time. A lot of agents will get their commission check and they will just spend that whole thing all at once. They'll go on vacation and it's like, hey, you got to make sure you put away for taxes. You got to make sure you put away for rainy day, right? So poor financial management is my last reason, number 5, why a lot of agents fail. So a quick summary. I want to see you have a great real estate career, and I don't want you to make these 5 mistakes that other agents have made, and that's why they failed, right? So number 1 is just excuses over action, accountability, and accomplishment. Number 2, poor time management. Number 3, weak mindset. Number 4, no good role models. Number 5, poor financial management. So avoid those things, right? Make sure you have a great real estate career. If you like this video, please drop a comment and let me know what you thought was the most helpful, and let me know if you thought I missed anything.